Hi friends, and welcome back to Hack the Cycle. I'm your host, Nadia Okamoto, co-founder of lifestyle period brand August. I would consider myself very period positive, but there are plenty of times when my period is not a welcomed guest, and I'm sure that I'm not alone in that. So today, I'm here in the park asking New Yorkers about their period experiences, whether good or bad or changing, and we're gonna ask all of our questions to an OBGYN, Dr. Ali. Come with me. Hey, Dr. Ali.
Hi, Nadia. How's it going?
Going so great. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm excited. Let's jump into these questions.
I'm here with my new friend. What's your name?
Stacy.
I heard you have a great first period story for us.
I was on my way to camp and all of a sudden I knew my period was coming and I was so embarrassed to say anything to my mom or her friend in the car right there. So I just tortured myself for a couple of days using wad up like toilet paper.
Did you know what a period was when you got your first period?
No.
So you were just bleeding out of your private parts and you
Yeah.
thought you would just not tell anybody?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it's so embarrassing.
What do you wish you knew before you got your first period?
I wish I knew what it would feel like so that I could know that it was my period and not something else. And that's so painful because you think it's something else. You're not sure what the cramps are for.
You're contemplating your whole life.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, lots of questions about what to expect when you get your first period. Over to you, Dr. Ali.
Oh my goodness. Just listening to her story, it brings back so many memories of my own experience when I first got my period. And again, it just made me feel more inspired about how passionate I am that we need to start talking about periods at a really young age. It can start and it can be pretty uncomfortable. It can be crampy and it could be heavy, or for some, there's no cramping and it can be light. The most important thing that I want you to take away is that starting your period is completely normal, and it's actually a healthy sign that your body and your hormones are all working.
Hey, Dr. Ali, I'm here in the park and I just met a new friend. What's your name?
Drea.
I have a question for you. Have you ever gotten your period unexpectedly and not been prepared?
Oh my gosh, so many times, of course. I was at work one time and I just needed a pad. Unfortunately, everyone I asked had just tampons. I don't use tampons. So I finally found someone who had a pad. This girl comes and she gives me the heaviest flow pad ever, the biggest pad I've ever seen, because I was afraid people could see it from the back. And it was all the way back there, but it ended up helping me out throughout the night. So I was actually pretty grateful.
What do you wish you knew about heavy flows, periods in general?
Is there something wrong with me? What should I do to fix it? Or is there something to fix? Or is it just normal?
Well, lots of questions. Over to you, Dr. Ali.
That was a great story. Again, a story we can all relate to. You are not alone if you are someone that has heavy periods. Typically, we expect periods to last anywhere from 3 to 7 days in length. Now, if you are bleeding more than 7 days, this is considered abnormal. If you have any doubt in your mind whether or not it's heavy or not, I encourage you to see your provider. One of the main reasons that some people get heavy periods is fibroids, and this is something that can be found on imaging, on ultrasound, and there's treatment options available to you.
All right, Dr. Ali, I met a few people who had burning period questions, but they're a little too nervous to ask you, so I'm gonna ask you myself.
Ooh, oh my goodness, I'm excited to hear these questions.
What is categorized as a menstrual disorder?
Now, menstrual disorders, menstrual irregularities, they kind of go hand in hand. It's kind of a more outdated term, but we're just talking about menstrual abnormalities or period abnormalities, whether it's heavy bleeding, skipped periods, spotting, pain. It's just period irregularities or menstrual irregularities.
What are some of the top menstrual disorders that we should be aware of that aren't taught in schools?
Yes, so there is secondary amenorrhea and primary amenorrhea. The word amenorrhea, that means the absence of periods or the lack of bleeding. So primary amenorrhea is someone who is over the age of 15 per se, and then hasn't started ever, or has never had a period. Secondary amenorrhea is someone who has been menstruating for 2-3 years, and then all of a sudden there's a period of no period for 3 months.
Thank you for that answer. I think that's gonna really help a lot of people.